Previously on Momma Cherri's Soul Food, Soul in the Bowl Cookbook, Corona special giveaway to you. This is what happened the last time. Okay? Sorry you missed it. Go back and check it out. The full video is what I'm talking about. Sit back, enjoy, and get yourself a cup of tea to get ready for the next episode coming your way. Let me get it to you close up. Okay, it's Momma Cherri. I'm going to actually read from cover to cover for the first birth of the restaurant. This is what you've been waiting for. Put the glasses back on. It's a kitchen nightmare. Oh yeah. And this is a picture of my pancakes. Okay, you got them. Those are my blueberry pancakes with maple syrup. So we're getting there. We're moving along. And this is our salads and fixing. So I'm going to just show you, just quickly, give you an idea. This is what it looks like. Our salads and our fixings. So let me move straight on in because, I'm just going to go double glasses. This way. How you like that? This way I keep them on. Look at that. Where we left off. Now, I left off, this chapter, as I said, is a quite big chapter, the sides and fixings. But we are now at one of my favorite all-time ingredients. Cornbread. Oh yes, cornbread. So let's get straight into it. Our soul in a bowl cornbread recipe, okay? This is, here I am starting without my glasses, knowing I need them. Remember, during these times of corona, I can't even get out to fix my glasses. But don't worry, I've come up with a solution. I put them on, and then I put these on over top. And it stops them from sliding on my face like it did in the second video. Okay? So, I may look a little bit strange, but hey, it ain't about how I look. It's about the words on my page. Here we go. Cornbread. This is the first type of bread that comes to mind when planning a soul food menu. It dates back to the Native American Indians who used ground corn for cooking before the European explorers arrived. Cornbread was popular during the American Civil War because it was very cheap, and it could be made in various different forms, baked into high-rise, light, fluffy loaves or muffins, or quickly fried into patties, such as hush puppies or hot water cornbread. That ain't in here. That's an update, okay? Any leftover cornbread can be frozen to use in stuffings or meatloaves, or deep fried as croutons, okay? Also, I went to a cornbread festival back in 2007, I believe, in Tennessee. It was fabulous. And there, let me see if I can find it for you. Up here. Do I see? Yes, let me just show you really quick. Hold on, stay there, people. Let me put this here so I don't lose my page. Oh! Dropping stuff. And there, I bought this book. Look at this. The Cornbread Gospels. It's fabulous with over 200 recipes just for cornbread. I think I'm going to do a series on some of these different recipes for you. But let me get back to my book. Okay? Here we go. So, for your cornbread, this is what you need. You need 225 grams of butter, 225 grams of flour, 225 grams of cornmeal, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 125 grams of caster sugar. That is optional. You can use less if you want it to be less sweet. 2 large eggs, and 475 milligrams of milk. Now, since writing this cookbook, I now only use buttermilk in my cornbread. Very simple to make. Take the exact same amount of milk, but just add a tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice. Turns it straight into your buttermilk, and it's fabulous, okay? Also, what I need to say to people, when you're making your cornbread, you don't have to worry about these quantities as long as if you're using this cup as you're measuring, as long as you stick to your same measuring jug. So I would go 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of cornmeal, 1 cup of milk. They're equal. Put it all in the same cup and use it, okay? So let me read you the method. Set the oven to 180 Celsius, gas mark 4, or I think it's around 350 Fahrenheit. Put the butter into a round or square baking tin or a 12-cup muffin tin and place it into the oven to melt. Be careful not to let it burn, okay? Remove once it has melted. Combine all of the dry ingredients in a bowl and make a well in the center. Add the eggs, milk, and melted butter. Oh, wait a minute. Is there a shadow on me? Hold on. Let me just sort out my lights. There we go. Add the eggs, milk, and melted butter and stir well with a wooden spoon, working fast so that the butter doesn't harden. Pour the mixture into the warmed baking tin. Place in the oven and bake for about 35 minutes or until it risen and gone golden brown. Serve immediately with butter and jam if you want, and if you have a sweet tooth. And it's also good with a fried breakfast or with meat, fish, or on its own. It's lovely. Okay, so that's my cornbread. So that's going to go up. Now, moving straight on from cornbread, we're assuming we have some left over. Let's make some cornbread stuffing, okay? Here we go. Back home, depending on where you're from, stuffing, or sometimes it's known as dressing, whatever you want to call it, it conjures up fond memories of family gatherings at Thanksgiving and Christmas, or any Sunday, okay? And what goes inside your big bird? My mother used a simple mixture of stale bread, a bit of veg, and butter to stuff our holiday bird. Nowadays, stuffings have taken on a whole new vibe. No longer is it just the bird thing. Stuffing for fish, meats, vegetables are common. And sometimes stuffings are even baked separately outside of the bird to keep the vegetarians happy. We want to keep you happy, happy, happy. Seafood, meat, fruit, nuts, and vegetables can all be used in a variety of stuffings. If you are making a traditional bread stuffing, make sure the bread is stale. This is easy to do. Just leave a few slices of bread out overnight and then crumble it up. Okay? Put it into cubes and you can put it into cubes and put it into a very low oven just to toast it off a little bit. The recipe combines stale bread and cornbread. Whenever I bake cornbread, I always put at least 6 pieces aside for freezing. They will keep well in the freezer. When I need them, I defrost them, warm them, and then through for immediate eating, or leave them out in the open air to go stale just a little bit for my stuffings, okay? You can also take your cornbread once you have frozen it, and you can take it out and you can crumble it up and you can make breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs to cover your bits of food before frying. Okay, so here are the ingredients for our cornbread stuffing. 150 grams of butter, 1 onion diced, 1 green pepper finely diced, 1 red diced, 4 stalks of celery finely diced, 1 clove of garlic finely chopped, 2 teaspoons of Mama's Love Dust, oh yeah, my Cajun seasoning, ½ teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of dried sage, 225 grams of fresh coriander, stems and leaves chopped up, 4 slices of stale or white or brown bread, 6 pieces of stale cornbread, 250 to 300 milliliters of chicken stock or vegetable stock, 100 grams of cranberries, which is optional, and walnuts are optional. The method. Melt the butter in a large frying pan over a medium heat. Then add all of the diced vegetables, plus the garlic. And Mama's love dust, salt, pepper, and herbs. Stir well, and cook until the onion is translucent. That means a little bit see-through. Crumble the stale bread and cornbread into the mixture and combine well. Add a little of the stock at a time until the mixture is moist and holds together. You don't want it to be too gooply-looply, okay? We don't want no mush. You can stir in the cranberries and the nuts if you want to. Now, at this stage, you can form them into little stuffing balls, or you can pack it into, say, a casserole dish, bake it separately, or you can go the good old-fashioned way and stuff that bird. All right? Just be careful not to let it dry out. Turn in the page. Oh, yes. Hush, puppies. Hush, puppies. After making your cornbread, you can mix any remaining batter with leftover vegetables from the main meal to create little fritters known as hush puppies. Traditionally, these were fried on the top of the stove using the leftover fat in the pan. There are plenty of stories about the origin of the name. Many believe it comes from the deep south, where cooks would shout out, "Hush puppies!" as they threw scraps out into the backyards to keep the dogs from barking at the smells coming from the kitchen. And what they go, "Hush, a puppy, hush." Okay, here's what you need to make 15 to 20 patties. A quarter quantity of cornbread batter. So just keep back some of that cornbread mixture that you made in its raw, loose form. 1 small onion chopped. Half of green, orange, yellow, or red peppers chopped finely. Half a teaspoon of some dried chili flakes. Give it a little bit of tang to it. A touch of crushed garlic. 4 tablespoons, and then you need some sweet corn, okay? So if, say, you had some leftover corn on the cob, just cut it off the cob, throw that in. Or if you got one of them little tins of sweet corn, throw it in. Adds to the flavor, adds to the goodness. And of course, my love does, baby. Salt, pepper, and vegetable oil. Mix the batter as you have done before, because I done told you how to make it. You know how to make your cornbread. And then just heat up some oil in a large pan, either a deep pan or you can shallow fry this. And then take your spoon and you just drop little bits in. And then you gently fry these, turning them over twice. I turn them, boom. And then I turn them again, boom. All right? And they should smell and fill your home with goodness. Lovely, served with catfish. Okay, y'all want to get ready? You ready for this? Let me show you a picture of some hush puppies. Here we go. Don't they look good? Can you see that? Don't they look good? Oh, yes. Turn the page, Mama. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Let's get this chapter done. All right. So, before I carry on, I sure hope you guys, because these videos are being made through this time of self-isolation for the coronavirus. So, I interrupt this program to bring you a public announcement. Stay safe. Stay inside. Let's keep this planet alive. Okay, back to the book. Pickled cucumbers. Now, I don't know about you, but I find cucumbers a very boring vegetable. I'm sorry, just saying. Most people just slice them into a salad. Of course, you can also jazz them up by pickling them. We have eaten sweetened pickled cucumbers at family gatherings for years. They are very quick to make and so delicious. And it takes that boringness out of a cucumber. This is what we do, okay? Pickled cucumbers. You need 2 cucumbers peeled and thinly sliced, 1 onion thinly sliced, 100 grams of castor sugar or just regular sugar, and 125 milliliters of some cider vinegar. Cider vinegar is best, but you can use white vinegar. You could even use balsamic vinegar, but with the balsamic, it's just a little bit, it's the flavor, it kind of takes over a little bit more. Put the sliced cucumbers and onions in a bowl. Sprinkle the sugar over them and then pour over the vinegar. Toss together until well coated, and then leave them to marinate for at least an hour. The longer, the better. The cucumbers will begin to release their juices. Serve with potato salad or as a side salad to any meal. Boom! Quick, easy, delicious. Pineapple salsa. I love pineapple salsa. Oh, I love it. Here we go. Every time we turn around these days, we're given a new sauce to try. There are countless sauces out there on the market now. Well, I'm no different. I've come up with a very simple 5-minute salsa using pineapple and chili as a base. It has a fresh, cooling flavor and tastes great piled on top of catfish goujons or served with many meaty fish such as salmon or red snapper. You need 250 grams of fresh pineapple cut into chunks or 1 tin or 1 can of pineapple drained. A pinch of dried chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped fresh coriander, a pinch of salt, a squeeze of lemon juice, and my love dust, baby, yeah. Ow! Put all of the ingredients in a bowl. Mix with a hand blender until the salsa is quite smooth but has some texture. Don't overblend it. There you go. It's done. Try this one. I'm telling you, it's a winner. Guacamole. Guacamole. Let's move on to some guac. Okay. Guacamole. Believe it or not, I've never eaten an avocado until I went to Mexico in 1971. They grew on the trees over there like apples do back home. At first, I couldn't understand the fascination with them, and it took a while before I could even try one. Now I eat avocados whenever I can get my hands on them and use them to make soups, sauces, and salads. My favorite way of eating avocado is as a guacamole dip to serve with tortilla chips or fajitas. And this is what you need to make my version of a quick and easy guacamole. 2 ripe avocados, 1 small onion finely chopped, diced, garlic clove, crush it and finely chop it up, 1 small tomato diced. Some people like to remove the seeds from them, okay? For me, it don't matter. It tastes just the same. A half a teaspoon of Mama's Love Dust. And a half teaspoon of some dried chili flakes. Some juice, the juice of 1 lime or half a lemon. Salt and pepper. Peel the avocados and remove the stones. Using a fork, mash the avocado flesh into a bowl. Mix in the onion, garlic, and tomatoes. Also you put it in, and the coriander. It's missing it. Add some coriander to it. And then season it with the chili flakes, the lime, or the lemon juice. Bouillon! Delicious. Try it. Then this is how I make my American blue cheese dressing. I tend to use English blue cheese or Roquefort for this dressing, whatever you choose. It must be a strong flavored with a crumbly texture. Served with hot buffalo chicken wings or used as a dressing for your favorite salad. And this is what you need. 1 clove of garlic peeled, a half teaspoon of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 150 milligrams of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 40 grams of blue cheese crumbled, a half teaspoon of my Love Dust, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Crush the garlic clove to a paste with the salt, then mix with the lemon juice, vinegar, and oil. Stir in the sour cream and mayonnaise. When it is all blended together, add the crumbled blue cheese, Cajun seasoning, black pepper, cover, and chill overnight. All right? Goodness. Here we go. Where are we up to? Let's see where we're up to. Okay, tomato salsa. See, these ones are, I'm just going to kind of just go through them because they're all sauces for you to use, okay? I was going to take my glasses off because they're getting on my nerves, but I won't because I need to read the word. Here we go. Tomato salsa. When I was 16, I spent a year living in Mexico as an international exchange student. I became fascinated by the different ways of making tomato salsas, both raw and cooked. This is one of my favorite cooked versions, okay? And I went to Mexico last summer in 2019. Revisited my family. Hadn't been there in 20 years. Had a fabulous time. I fit right back in. I'm telling you. I love Mexico. I love my family. Hi, Mexican family. Love and kisses to you all. Okay. So, 8 to 10 people. 1 red, 1 green, 1 yellow pepper roughly chopped. 2 large onions roughly chopped. 1 to 2 fresh red chilies roughly chopped. 1 clove of garlic peeled. 100 milliliters of olive oil. 1 kg of tomatoes or 2 cans of whole plump tomatoes, drained. 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, a handful of fresh coriander chopped, juice of 1 lemon, and 1 lime, plus a little of the grated zest. Place the onions, peppers, chilies, garlic in a large baking tin. Pour the olive oil over them and place on the top shelf of a preheated oven. Roast for 20 to 30 minutes until the vegetables begin to blacken, okay? Now, if you don't have an oven, you can do the same process by taking these things and putting them on top of the stove in a dry pan just to kind of blacken and char them, okay? Meanwhile, also dip some paper towel in the olive oil and use it to wipe the base of a heavy bottom frying pan so it is lightly coated. Place the pan over a high heat, and when it's hot, put the whole tomatoes in their skins or the drained tomatoes in. They will begin to sizzle, pop, and darken. Cook for at least 5 minutes until they are almost blackened underneath, but still red and juicy inside. Turn them over with a wooden spoon and keep cooking until they are blackened all over. Peel off the skin if using fresh tomatoes. Add the tomatoes to the tin of roasted vegetables. Sprinkle over with some salt, cumin, and the cumin seeds and roast for a further 15 minutes in the middle of the oven. Remove from the oven and transfer to a bowl, making sure you scrape the baking tin well. There's goodness in them juices, okay? So that you don't lose any of the goodness in the flavor. Add a little water to the tin and stir it to loosen the bits that have stuck to the base. Then add this to the vegetables. Leave it to cool. Then stir in the fresh coriander and the lemon and the lime juice and the zest. Use a hand blender to chop everything up roughly. You can now add more chili at this stage if you prefer it hotter. Serve the salsa over some nachos with fajitas or as an accompaniment. It will keep in your refrigerator easily for up to a week. But you know what? If you did it right, it ain't gonna last that long because you're gonna eat it up. Delicious. And bottle it up and give it to your neighbors. Okay? Here we go. Cranberry sauce with a hint of orange. For me, it's not a holiday season without cranberry sauce to go with the turkey. I always used to buy mine ready-made, but my Aunt Carolyn showed me how quick and easy it is to make from home. So here's what you do. You want to get 275 grams of cranberries, fresh cranberries, 100 grams of sugar, 120 of water, 25 grams of butter, some grated zest of 2 oranges. Put the cranberries, sugar, and water in a pan and bring to a boil. Simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes until the cranberries pop open. Then stir in the butter and the orange zest. Leave to cool and chill overnight. Serve with turkey or any other meats. Now, if you don't like it too bitty, you can strain it a bit. You can take the chunks out. But this is a lovely winner chicken dinner. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. 2 more recipes for you in this section, and then we will end our part 4. So here we go. Part 4, here we go. Oh, here we go. This is the big one. Mama's Cajun seasoning. Okay? This is my love dust, baby. Yeah. Okay. Most of my recipes call for my Cajun seasonings, and although you can buy it, homemade is always best. That way you can experiment each time and get the blend and the degree of heat to your personal taste. A Cajun seasoning mix is basically salt with a variety of spices. Use it as you would use your salt or an all-purpose seasoning. Okay? Now you can also order my seasoning directly from my website, MommaCherrySoulFood.com. What did I say? MommaCherrySoulFood.com. So you can order it if you want. Remember, I do several blends. I do a curry blend, I do a jerk blend, and I do my plain Cajun blend. Bam! Here's what you need. Now, I'm giving you small quantities, so you can make this up at home. But these are the basic things you need. Don't worry if you don't have everything. If you don't have everything, don't worry. Just use what you can, and I want you just to start to get creative. So, 10 grams of black pepper or chili powder. 10 grams of ground cayenne pepper or chili powder. 10 grams of black pepper. 10 grams of garlic powder. Notice they're all equal. 10 grams of cumin. 10 grams of coriander. 7 grams of dried chili flakes. 7 grams of just a touch of white sugar. 60 grams of some onion flake, just dried onion powder or onion flakes, depending on what you can get. 25 grams of mixed herbs. 7 grams of nutmeg. And then I have reduced the salt to around 20 grams of salt because I want you now to get yourself some paprika. And if you can get some smoked paprika, get your smoked paprika. You can order it online. It is so easy. But I tend to use my plain Spanish paprika, and I also use smoked paprika. And on my paprika, whereas I've got like 10 grams for everything else, you want 50 grams, okay? Because you want that to be the predominant flavor coming through. And basically, you just put it all in a bowl, mix it up, bottle it up, sprinkle it on your food. Bam! Done. And here is this is what my label looks like. Okay? I always have some on the go because I make it monthly. I make it every single month and I send it out to my Patreon. So if you want some, become a Patreon. Alright? Here we go. Last but not least, Momma Cherry's Cajun Jerk Seasoning. Now this is a wet one. Invented by the Arkwak Indians, probably said that wrong, the original natives of Jamaica, jerk seasonings are traditionally found in the Caribbean islands. There are many recipes for them, both wet and dry. The word jerk refers to a seasoning blend, a cooking method, and the meat that has been jerked. It is not part of my soul food past, but having lived here in England for more than 40 years, this book says 30, so I tell you, I've been here more than 40 years. I have absorbed many Caribbean influences on my cooking. Shopping in the open markets, I can't help but discover new and exotic foods. When I first came to England, I was part of a soul pop band called Rachel and the Street Angels. We came from all over the world, and before a gig, we would all cook up some down-home food. My good friend and singing companion, Andrea Barker, she came from Barbados. You can see her on quite a few of my films, on my videos. Check out the one when I went to Manchester to see with her. And this is, Andrea came from Barbados, and her special contribution was her mother's version of a wet jerk seasoning for chicken or fish and fried saltfish cakes. She would select the finest ingredients and spend hours preparing them. I've never had the patience to sit and chop up for hours, so I watched and learned, then came up with my own shortcuts. I don't claim to know the secret of jerk seasoning, but believe me, my simple tricks do the trick. This is what you need. 1 bunch of spring onions, roughly chopped. 1 bunch of flat leaf parsley, roughly chopped. 2 tablespoons of fresh coriander. 1 lime. 1 red or yellow Scotch bonnet chili. Them the hot ones. Chop it up, but be careful when you touch it on your hands. Wash your hands afterwards. A half a juice of a lemon. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. A pinch of each of sea salt and black pepper. And of course, some of my love dust. Alright? This is what you do. Put the spring onions, parsley, coriander into a bowl. Using a sharp knife, peel the lime, cutting close to the flesh to remove all of the white pith. Cut it in half and take out the pips. Cut the lime into half into the bowl with half of the chopped chilies. Depending on how hot you want it, you can discard the seeds from the chili. Using a hand blender, mix together the ingredients into the bowl. Squeeze in the lemon juice. Then slowly pour in the olive oil and the salt and the pepper and Mama's love dust, Cajun seasoning, and some mixed spice. The mixture should be fairly smooth but not pureed. Taste it. If you need a little bit of extra of anything, add it. You can use this seasoning straight away, but the flavors improve the longer it sits. I tend to leave it in the fridge to chill. You are now ready to use it or stuff it and rub onto your chicken. Enjoy. Bon appetit. So that's the end of that chapter. It might have felt a little bit longer. I'm going to put all of the recipes up with it. Enjoy. And guys, please stay safe. And I will see you next time. Story time with the mama. God bless. Take care.